Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today, leveraging Inspire Designer with ServiceNow's Strategy Portfolio Management module. Wanted to thank everybody for joining us today, and allow me to make a couple of introductions. My name is Matt Gallagher. I am the VP of Global Sales at Inspire, and I'm joined by my friend Marcel Horn, who is the ServiceNow Practice Lead at ContactX. Both of us are ServiceNow partners, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we move forward. To go through the next slide. As many of you are probably aware, if you've been on webinars before, you know that it is important to note that we do have we want to make sure you're aware of our safe harbor notice. I will not read this whole thing to you. I will spare you those details, but I think it is important to note that as we go through this, we might make some forward-looking statements and make some assumptions about kind of product availabilities. You shouldn't make any purchasing decisions on that, essentially, is what we're saying. Happy to talk to you about that, but as you all know, the lawyers force us to make sure that we make that comment ahead of time. The other thing that's important to note as we move to the next slide is that this is part of a series of a lot of different webinars and 360 exchanges that happen that ServiceNow sponsors. I think if you would like to learn a little bit more about some of the other sessions, please scan the QR code, and the link will also be shared in the chat today. And then just a couple of housekeeping items as we jump in here. Real important, we've definitely saved some time at the end for Q&A. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what your questions are. So please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen along the way and put your questions in there. We'll try to answer as many as we can along the way, but we have saved some time at the end for that Q&A as well. Also, that this presentation will be recorded and it will be shared in the ServiceNow community in case you need to go take a look at it at a later date. And after this, we really value your feedback. And so you're going to be prompted at the end to fill out a short survey. And we really, really appreciate you taking a couple of minutes to do this so that we can improve these sessions for you. I think that's important for all of us on the ServiceNow, Inspire, and ContactX teams. Okay, so jumping into this a little bit, excuse me. I'm sure a lot of you on the call today are probably very familiar with ServiceNow and many of their solutions, but I'm going to guess that when I say the name Inspire, perhaps you might not be as familiar with us and what some of our solutions are. Real quickly, just to set the stage, we are a software company that was founded in 2015 with a specialization in enterprise transformation management and enterprise architecture management. We're a ServiceNow advanced platform build partner, and 100% of our solutions are all built on the Now platform. And this includes the Designer product, which Marcel is going to be walking through and talking about a little bit today. Designer is a real-time diagramming and modeling solution built on ServiceNow. It is native to ServiceNow. It allows you to have full access to all the data in ServiceNow so that you can build out current state models, but it also allows you to then create and kind of plan for the future by building your future state models and creating new elements, creating new relationships that can then be committed back into the ServiceNow repository in a smart manner. Big thing, as a native plugin, the diagram content is always in sync with ServiceNow. And you can see as Marcel kind of clicks through this, there's a lot of different types of diagrams and models that are available to you. And these are just a few of the notional examples. Strategy maps, impact assessments, implementation plans, network diagrams, process modeling, being able to kind of build out your gap analysis. There's a lot of different types of things that you can do in Designer. And I think that's a really important setup today to what Marcel is going to be speaking about, because he's going to be walking you through specifically how this product was going to be used in a very specific use case along with ServiceNow's SPM solution. So I think that's really the important piece is, there's a lot you can do, but I think it's important to share some of the real world examples of the types of things that you can do. And that's what we're here for today. So with that, this is probably a good time to, Marcel, to pass this off to you. And I think you were going to kick us off with a poll, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to pass to you and let you take it from here.
Thank you, Matt, for this nice overview of a designer and as well what you can do with designer. In my slides, we will go through a little bit deeper, make a short dive into SPM and how you can use SPM and design in combination. Currently, you see one poll on your page. Please vote and help us to find an answer for this question. I will give you some seconds and then I will close the poll and try to show as well the results. Last 10 seconds. Okay, I see some answers are coming in.
Real-time results coming in. Taking a look.
Okay, now it's look like no answers coming anymore. Let me close the poll. And I will also show you the poll that you can see the results. Okay. Let me close the poll and jump to my next slide. Before we start to dive into Designer, I will give you a little bit an overview about the SPM lifecycle in the project management area of ServiceNow. How the process is built in ServiceNow and how you will start. Mostly you will start with a rough idea. We will create an idea in the idea portal that you see as well later. So you can type in a short description and a business case or some more details. And then the most companies are using demand management to as well start a little bit, diving into the topic, getting as well more and more details, like, as well start a little bit planning with financial stuff or also with resource stuff. And most companies are also using the assessment stuff to then have a qualified demand to see it in the workbench where they can then decide which demand makes sense to do. Where it has a big value and where has the biggest value and low risk. And then it's going over from this demand to a project that you also can connect to portfolios or to programs, and then you can do the project. The cool stuff in ServiceNow is, or in SPM is, you can do agile projects, hybrid project, and as well classic project, like waterfall projects. And this is all stuff in one platform. The cool stuff is as well, if you have installed Designer or purchased Designer, you can also use Designer in this process. You can start at the beginning, at the aging phase. You can start with like examples like mind map. You can build your mind maps for an idea and start discussing the idea. Where you have your gaps. Where you should what you should do in this project or in the demand is really needed. You can really discuss it with your team with a visual support tool or supporting tool that helps you a little bit as well, gives an idea, some picture. Then in the next phase, you can also prepare, or you can do something like a work breakdown structure with Designer in parallel to your Gantt. You can use the Gantt feature of ServiceNow, and you can use in parallel the Designer to do work breakdown structure. As well, also doable is with Designer to use the organization data or the user data and groups data that's connected to your project to as well create organization charts of your projects. The benefit of this is that each person or each project member know who is responsible for what. Who are my stakeholder, who are my sponsor, who are the project members, and what are the responsibilities. In the execution phase, you can also do risk heat maps. You can also do risk heat maps for one project, for a complete portfolio, or some other stuff. In the closing phase, we have one example, the Starfish model, that you can help you to improve your project and as well the next sprint. That you can discuss with your team what you should do, what you should not do, what you should start doing or not doing. That help you a little bit as well in the next project or the next sprint to make it more effective. Here you can see a little bit an overview each of this example, we will show you directly in the system that you see it as well, that it's working that it's working in this instance, and it's not only a picture. Let me jump into the instance. Starting with the planning phase, or with the initiation phase of a project or of a demand. Mostly it starts in the idea portal. Yeah, you can have a lot of idea portals. You can have one for IT, one for HR, or for different as well for the business. Yeah, in the idea portal, as user you can post ideas, and then you can like or dislike ideas. I created here example like a new product. I have only one like, but this is not important for today. I want to show you how you can integrate the idea portal as well with Designer. I have here added some widget that shows for this idea, I have already a map linked to this idea. Yeah? I can click on it, and then Designer is open directly from the ID portal and shows the map related to the idea. Another way that's also working is that you can click the 3 buttons and click on Open in Platform. Now you get a pop-up, and there you have also now the possibility to create directly new diagrams directly out of the idea portal. Here I click on this button, and now it's starting Designer in the edit mode, and I can create new diagrams and add it as well later to the idea to give the idea a little bit more details. Can here drag and drop now elements and write as well something and do more and more great diagrams. Yeah. In the next phase, I want to show you a little bit how it's working with the Gantt and in parallel with the work breakdown structure. I prepared here a project that has some deliverables. Here we use the requirement table. You can see the deliverables or the outcome of the project. And I connect as well to this outcomes project task. Each project task is working against one deliverable. Here's a little bit a list view of the stuff that is normal ServiceNow, but you can also do it in Designer. Here's one example for the Gantt that you can use in ServiceNow, but you can also do it in Designer. For this, you can open this element in Designer, clicking by Designer. You will find it if you have installed it in the application menu module. On the right side in Designer, now I can use the repository browser to grab data directly from ServiceNow into my diagram. I will search the project where I have the deliverables. It's in my example, the development of a new software application. And now I can use favorites to load data, or I can use a pop-up to load the dependencies. Here in this form, I can load relationships, CR relationships, reference fields, also information of reference, related lists, where I find as well my deliverables, or hierarchy data. For this example, I want to load my hierarchy data. Now you see the first level of deliverables. I can also now go and use my favorites and load the child elements of each outcome. And as I told you, you can now also load the project task that is working against this outcome. I use again the favorite and load the project tasks related to this outcome. Okay, for this we have now nothing defined. Now I can also reformat really easy this structure in another tree. Oh, wait a moment. And now I have a work breakdown structure according to my project with the outcomes, with the deliverables, and with the project status. The benefit is now, parallel to the Gantt, I can also track, where's the status of the project task and how's the status as well of this outcome. Yeah, I can now add the indicator for this project task. Going here to the indicator menu of Designer and loading indicators for project task. And I want to see the state of the project task as background. Now you can see the state real time from the ServiceNow instance and how is the state related to the deliverable of my projects. It gives you a little bit way also to plan it according to your deliverables of a project and not really time related. Another example that I have already prepared is a project organization chart that I showed you on the overview. You can link these diagrams as well as you can see here directly with your project. Here I prepared as well a work breakdown structure and link it to the project. Another stuff I have also done is a project organization chart. You can open it really easy directly from the project in presentation mode to also show your project management, project members who's responsible for which task in your project. Here I open directly from the project organization chart. You can also reuse data that is already in your project. As you can see here, this is I use a reference field project management to show the project manager of this project. And what we can also see is that you see the stakeholder of this project, you see the sponsors, and as well the steering committee. The good stuff is as well, because we are on the instant, we can also jump directly from this element to the user record. You have as well, you can draw in your diagrams and open as well elements that's on your diagram. These two stuff was examples of the project planning phase of a project. Next phase was the execution phase, where we want to do risk heat map. For this, I already prepared a risk heat map. Here you can see 3 risks that are committed. The good stuff is I can also do the risk heat map over completely different portfolios. Each risk is connected to a project. I can now use again the real-time indicator to show to which risk, to which project or portfolio this risk is connected. You can see risk 1 and 2 is connected to a project it's in a portfolio all, and you see risk 3 is connected to a portfolio to a project in a portfolio HR. Let me as well add the project. That makes a little bit more sense. And now we can also see the project where the risk is connected. You see, risk 3 is connected to management, HR documents implementation, and the other risks are connected to develop a new software application. And the good stuff is as well, you can use Designer to convert data. Means I can also add new risk. Yeah, let me use the left side where I can pick new elements, drag and drop it into my heat map. Give it a name like risk 4. And connect it as well, this risk 4 to a different project. Yeah? Now you get the list of projects. Let me use some other stuff, some other project in HR portfolio, and give it what we have called, give it 8. You see, I have now created one new element. On the right diagram content, you can see I have the existing risk and I create as well a future element. Means I can now commit this future element back to my system. Therefore, I need to open the diagram and the diagram overview, and here you can see as well my current elements and my future elements. Now I can commit the stuff, and it's now written back to my ServiceNow instance or to ServiceNow And I will also see if I open the project, I see as well the risk in the project. Let me open the project, the risk, and then the project. Project. If I open now this project where I committed the risk, it's also popping up in the backend view or on the ServiceNow view. Here you can see now as well a second risk, a new risk. Risk 4 is also now committed back to the system. At the last step or the last topic, what we have is the execution phase or the closing phase of the closing phase of the project. We can also use diagrams to give your project more benefit and improve it a little bit. Therefore, you can use a little bit the template feature. Here we find, or here you can define templates for your own or templates for global, means for your whole company. Yeah, you can see here as well the heat map stuff that we had before as a template, or you can also use a Starfish. You can drag and drop the Starfish model. The Starfish model, you can drag and drop it from the templates directly into your diagram. And now you can start doing with your team some Starfish model and say what you want to stop doing or what you want to do in the project or in the next sprint and more. And the good stuff, you can also find these elements then directly in the story on the project. As you've seen before, you can also see then if you have the Starfish, you can also connect it to the project and then it's popping up here into your related list and you can see the Starfish, and can also really quickly see what was discussed, which step maybe need as well in your project, or you can also use a commit feature of ServiceNow and commit something out of a Starfish model into your ServiceNow instance, as risk or some project tasks. All this stuff is possible, and I showed it to you. And here we are at the end, and we have some little poll at the end for you. Let me jump back to the presentation.
We do have some questions too, Marcel, that might want to go through as well.
Yes.
Get through the poll.
In this way, I don't want to show the results of the poll, but that's a good indicator for us who wants to be connected in the future and want to see maybe more of SPM and Designer and how you can combine it. Okay, last 10 seconds. Okay, done. Maybe let us jump to the questions.
All right, I was gonna say I was talking and I was on mute. I think we all do that every once in a while these days. Okay, so we do have a couple. So I'll just kind of look over here and read them to you. We had a question about how deep is the integration with an out-of-the-box component to connect to, like Microsoft Project Web, on Office 365. Any thoughts or comments on that?
Yes, there's some plugins that you can use in SPM to work directly with SPM and Project MS Project together. If you want to see more in this direction, contact me and then we can discuss it.
Okay. Also a question that was about, can we assign labor and other cost elements, to the idea, in the ideation phase in order to get a ROM? Is that possible?
Not at this stage. It's planned then to do this in the next stage and at demand. In demand management, you can plan your resources, you can plan your finance data stuff. You can also then have also fields where the sum of all the resources and financial stuff will be calculated, and then you can see it in this fields. And the good stuff, you can also define benefits, monitor benefits, non-monitor benefits, to also give your demand more details. But this is stuff more for demand, not really for ideation phase or for idea portal. And the idea portal is really rough idea with a short description and with some details, and maybe some diagram, if you have design to show the demand manager what you want to do in the future.
Okay. We also have a question, about can you multi-select items and choose an option like load project tasks on multiple deliverables at one time?
Currently, this is not possible, but it's a good topic, and I will take it with me and put it to the developer stream. Currently, you have the possibility. You have one possibility that is you have a hop function, but this only loads the neighbors of the neighbors. And it's only working with CR relationships. With CR relationships, you can do with one click loading a lot of data, but with reference fields and related list, currently it's not possible. I have to do,
okay,
1-2 clicks more.
Other question is a question about where the diagrams are stored. Are they stored in ServiceNow attachments tables, a custom table? Where would they be stored?
That's a good question. This application is natively running on the instance in an own scope, and the elements on the diagram and as well the diagram is stored in own tables in the designer scope. Means if you want to configure something or customize something, you customize the stuff in the designer scope, and you're not changing something in the global scope. This is really also like the platform team also likes this way, because you're not working in the same scope like them.
I'm going to kind of skip one question on here because I think there's another one. There's a question about the difficulty of the integration between InSpy, ServiceNow, and SPM directly. And I think you just said it there. I'll kind of give it from my perspective, but this is a native built solution on the Now platform. So the integration, I always say this, it's not an integration because it really is it's built directly on ServiceNow. Would you agree with that, Marcel, or any
Yes.
comments on that?
Completely agree on it.
So, and I think that was another question about there. Have we created the designer? Is it created in ServiceNow or done through some integration? I think we just answered that one as well. Here's one. I don't know if you're going to be able to do this right now, but this might be a good follow-up. I think this is a good question. There's someone asking to see an example of how to use this when designing a company's CSDM model. I don't know if you have a ready-made example there, if that would be a better follow-up, but somebody did.
It's better for follow-up, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, too deep.
So we can follow up on that one, because I think that's ultimately going to be a multi-threaded question. I think that could be a webinar in and of itself.
Because it's another topic, it's not really related then to SPM. SDM is part of CMDB more, or service management. But we can hop on it.
But it's a good question.
It's a good question, yes.
We also have a question: Can we create metadata by loading from a spreadsheet?
Yes, you can load spreadsheet into ServiceNow directly, but this is not part of Designer. It's part of a feature of a ServiceNow platform, where you can upload Excel sheets and then have a transform map to import data. There's another stuff where you can use a little bit Designer is if you want to plan something, like a new business application with new business capabilities, or you plan some other data, you can plan it, and you have a picture, you can approve the picture, and if the picture or the diagram is approved, not the picture, the diagram is approved, then ServiceNow Designer has some options to really to write back automatically all the elements that's on the diagram. Means you put one new business application or business capability, connect them, then it's some approval step, approve it, and then designer will commit the stuff automatically into the instance. Yeah? These are also a way how you can use designer and also populate your CMDB with data from designer.
Okay. I did have one question that was, I think, posted over in the chat area. I'm going to go try to find that now. Yeah, here it is. A question about how the data is getting populated for child records. Is it coming from the CMDB? Is it pre-created?
It's coming from the instance. Yeah, it's coming from the CMDB, from any table that you want. You can get the data from each table on the instance. It's a little bit configuration needed in the back end, but it's very easy. The configuration, you say I want to have the data from incident can be loaded into the diagrams in the designer, and then it's done. Yeah, you can also give it different shapes. Yeah, you can define for each table. You can have different shapes. You can have also define which fields you want to populate via commit stuff. Yeah, you can define a lot of stuff, and it's really easy. Yeah? You're doing this also only in the app. It's not done in the global scope. It's done in the designer scope with configuration.
Okay. Well, Marcel, I think I don't see any more questions here, but I definitely want to thank you for doing this and talking to this. I think this was I want to thank the audience for listening in today and for all of your great questions. I think this is a real great topic, and again, part of a bigger series of a lot of different webinars that are coming up. So, Marcel, thank you very much. Audience, thank you.
Thank you all.
I think if there's nothing else, I think we're a wrap. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.